Welcome to the Urban Advantage Podcast, the official voice of the University of North Texas at Dallas. Here are your hosts, Benjamin Bullock and Greg Campbell. Take it away, guys.
Hello, world, and welcome to episode 12 of the Urban Advantage Podcast, presented by the University of North Texas at Dallas. I'm Benjamin Bullock, the Senior Marketing and Communications Coordinator for UNT Dallas, and joining me as co-host is the owner and CEO of Rainmaker Incorporated, Greg, my man, Campbell. Greg, what's up, man? What's going on?
Hey, hello, Ben. It's good to be back in the chair and behind the mic.
Yes,
and
sir.
Have for the first time on the air to just say, hey, Daddy, what's happening?
I'm good, man.
We're going to get back into Ben being daddy a little bit later in the show, but
Yes.
I just wanted to get it up front.
Thank you.
That say, hello, Daddy.
Yes.
And, you know, he's got a big smile on his
Yeah,
face.
yeah.
He is waking up in the middle of the night now
Yeah.
because he's got to do some baby duty
Yeah.
in that process. So, you know, he's doing okay. He's
Yeah.
looking good.
I'm
he's
doing
looking
fine.
fresh.
I'm
and,
holding
you know,
on, man.
He's
Barely.
holding on, and he's going to make it.
Yeah,
He's going to make it.
Yeah, actually, she woke me up like 30 minutes before my alarm went off to get down here. So I was a little mad about that, but I can't get mad at her. She just turned 2 weeks old, so she's 15 days old, and she's doing well. Her mom, my wife's doing well, so everybody's happy right now. You know what I mean?
Well, I know what we're going to have to talk about a little bit later on in the show is how do we do equal love? You know, that equal love between baby and mama. So we're going
And-
to talk a little bit about that a little bit
Oh, yeah.
later on in the show because, you know, Ben looks like he could use a few lessons.
Oh yeah, I mean you and you're the man, so you know I got to be able to learn from you since you're like one of my mentors. You know what I mean?
I hear you.
Yeah. So what's been going on with you though, Greg?
A lot of things have been going on. You know, I'm paying attention to this mayoral race and this council race that's coming up. Early voting starts on Monday. So it's down to the real time now. So expect to see your inbox filled up with ads and promotions for various candidates. Please take your time. Make sure that you spend some time vote. And, you know, quite frankly, we all get busy. Let's take advantage of early voting.
Yes.
So we can get out there, get that over with. Most people think that there's going to be a potential runoff for this race. So let's go ahead, get that early voting, and then get prepared to listen to the candidates. Make sure you're hearing what they're saying before you cast your vote, and you're very knowledgeable.
Yes, and like you said, Greg, you can't participate in the process if you don't participate in the voting process. So make sure you guys get out there and do that. Just in terms of UNT Dallas, been a lot of things happening coming up. Number one, graduation is right around the corner, so that's May 17th. So for those who are need to put in the last few efforts to make sure you guys can walk and finish the semester strong, make sure you do that. Ain't that right, Greg?
Oh, definitely. You know, there's a tendency come springtime. You know, the flowers are out, the sun is shining, the grass is green, and you sort of get pulled out to hanging out as opposed to hitting the books. But this is the time where, you know, rubber meets the road. If you're going to get that grade, you got to get the grade now.
Yeah.
You know, you're past the midterms. You're probably looking at finals right now, and you got papers due. It's time to buckle down. Just make this last push. Get through, get your grades done, and if you haven't, get that job.
Get that job.
Internship, summer job. Are you at the Career Services department? Are you talking to the people who can help you find an internship?
Right.
This is the time to do it because, you know, when you look up and it's June, it's too late.
It's way too late. And for those who need to go holler at Arthur Lumsey and the rest of his team at the Career Services Department, please do so. Internships might be a little too late to apply for internships right now, but go ahead if they're still available to make sure your career is on the right path. Also for UNT Dallas, just a few nuggets on our end. Graduating senior Hector Robelato earned the prestigious Newman Civic Fellowship Award, and he was the second UNT Dallas student to do so. Okay, now this particular award is very prestigious. Okay, it's awarded to community committed students from Campus Compact member institutions that support students' personal, professional, and civic development. So that was a huge accomplishment for him on that particular aspect. And also last week, Greg, I don't know if you knew about this, but Colin Powell and Barack Obama were here last week for the Diversity and Leadership Conference, and a group of our political science major students were able to attend, and they got a lot of good stuff out of that.
That's an amazing opportunity for our students.
Yes, and I was actually there because, you know, I'm on paternity leave right now, and
Wait, so you on the dais? You were speaking?
Nope.
With the president and the general?
Remember when we talked about entrepreneurship?
Yes.
Well, a good friend of mine hit me up and said they needed a videographer for it. So I was like, hey, I'm on leave. So I sacrificed some sleep those 3 days. You know what I mean? I had to be up there by 8 o'clock each day, and met up with a guy who runs his own production company out of Houston. And so me and him hooked up, and I shot some video for him, and I got paid for it. So it was pretty good.
So you got some video of the president and the general?
See, Barack, he's real strict about his stuff. So no photos, no video, nothing. We couldn't do anything. So I didn't even get to see him. I didn't get to see Colin Powell either, but I did meet a lot of good people there. One of the most powerful women in tech too. Met some people who worked for Lyft, Amazon. A lot of good people, man. I actually, like I said, got to network and meet a lot of people there, and it was a really good experience.
Well, you know, Colin Powell and I are cousins.
For real?
Yeah, man. He's Jamaican. I'm Jamaican.
Oh, y'all cousins?
I've gone back and I've read his books, and all the names that are in his books, you know, last names, parallel the names that are in my family. We're cousins.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
You should get them on the show then, Greg.
We have to work on that. So I want to do another shout out about men's health. We're in the spring, and this is a particular time where I like to shout out to the men in our audience to take some time and do your annual checkup. Go ahead and figure out if there's anything that you need to check in on. If you've reached a certain age, it's time to do the prostate exams, colonoscopy, check that blood pressure. Make sure that everything is working right. This is a perfect thing that we have to really sort of pay attention to.
Yeah.
Because, you know, at the end of the day, if you don't have health, you don't have anything. I mean, you
have
can't
wealth.
work, you can't study, you can't do anything.
Right.
So if you're having challenges in any shape, way, or form with your health, even if you're not, this is a time to do the, you know, at least once a year preventative checkup. Just make sure you're all right. And I'm saying this specifically to men because, you know, the women in our audience, they take care of themselves. Guys, we don't do such a good job. And that is true across the board.
Yeah.
Whatever age group you're looking at, we don't take care of ourselves. So this is a springtime shout out reminder. Hey guys, go get it taken care of.
Yes, and I got my appointment coming up every 6 months. So June, I'll be right there, making sure I get my physical, check on my cholesterol, all that good stuff. I'll make sure I'm good to go on that, okay? Well, for our first-time listeners, the purpose of this podcast is to identify and keep you updated on what's happening in Southern Dallas and at UNT Dallas. Range from education to economic development to community relations to entertainment, we'll have it all covered for you right here.
Be sure to follow the podcast on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Urban ADV Podcast, and by using the hashtag Urban ADV Podcast.
Greg, what's your social media handle?
I am Greg Campbell.
Excellent.
That's it.
That's it.
Done.
That's it. And mine is at Ben Bull Jive. Ain't that right, Greg?
It's definitely jive.
And I got a princess jive, so you know I probably gonna change. Well, I'll probably create an Instagram name, put that as it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
something.
Something like that.
So does she have an Instagram page yet?
Her mom's thinking about it. I ain't gonna hold you. She's thinking about it. I might have to hold her off on that. So
Yeah.
also be sure to subscribe to our podcast on iTunes, SoundCloud, and YouTube. Coming up next, we'll welcome Dr. Soryota Yasmin of UNT Dallas to talk about mental health awareness. Don't touch that dial.
Perched on a hilltop overlooking the downtown Dallas skyline, the University of North Texas at Dallas is the only public four-year university in the city of Dallas. Serving the #1 job market in America, UNT Dallas is ranked #1 in Texas and #6 nationally as the most affordable university. We as Trailblazers believe that every student should have the opportunity to earn a college degree regardless of their economic background, and we deliver. For more information, visit untdallas.edu. Blaze your trail. Welcome back to the Urban Advantage Podcast, the official voice of the University of North Texas at Dallas. Here are your hosts, Benjamin Bullock and Greg Campbell. Take it away, guys.
Welcome back, everyone. Remember, you can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Urban ADV Podcast, and subscribe to us on iTunes, SoundCloud, and YouTube. Today we have UNT Dallas Associate Sociology Professor, Dr. Soda Jesmin. Welcome to the show, Dr. J.
Hi, glad to be here.
Glad to have you. Talk to us a little bit about your role at UNT Dallas.
Well, my primary role as a faculty member is teaching, and I try to teach my students the cutting edge information, theories and concepts related to health promotion. I am an active researcher. I publish and present at national and international conferences. I am also involved in service. I serve my school and profession. Finally, community engagement is important to me. I try to involve students in service learning and experiential learning in the community. And my latest grant is all about reaching out to the communities surrounding UNT Dallas.
Well, you're working on a very, very important topic, and that is behavioral health. Why is that so important?
As a faculty member, I see my students struggling with their homework, withdrawing from school, and many of them struggle with anxiety, depression, and other mental health issues. And nationwide, this is getting more common, that about 36% of college students, they have at least one diagnosable mental illness. And suicide is the second leading cause of death among college students. So as a faculty member, I cannot ignore the mental wellness of my students and expect them to be successful. So I focused on in this area, and also like our leadership, our president, President Mong, he is very interested about mental health, and our leadership made it clear that students' wellness is our priority at UNT Dallas. So that's why I decided to write this grant.
Okay, now you speak of the grant. We were awarded over $300,000 for it from the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration. Talk to me about how that even kind of came about from UNT Dallas, because that's a huge grant, another one of the great grants that we keep getting here at UNT Dallas.
We have need. We are in a location, the surrounding communities. We have minority students, minority population, and we do not, we have stigma, there is a culture of not talking about mental illness. This is nationwide a problem with mental illness, but it is an issue that our community members and also our students are suffering. So I was able to present that to the funding agency, and so they gave us the funding to serve the community, to break the stigma and change the culture.
I got you. So now you were just interviewed by CBS 11's Robbie Owens about you leading the Cognito initiative to combat suicide. Number one, you looked great, number one, on TV. So you did a great job on that.
Thank you.
So talk to us a little bit about how that interview went, and UNT Dallas, trying to fight against suicide, and like you said, mental health awareness and all those things as well.
First of all, Robbie Owens, she is awesome.
Right, she is.
She made it so easy, she was interested in this grant and my work. So basically, in this grant, I am trying to train students so that our students can identify their other students, distressed students. If a peer is in distress, they can identify that, they can talk with them, and they can help them to seek help. So giving them a training which is called Cognito, at risk for college students. This is a 30 minutes computer simulated program that students are taking at UNT Dallas, and they are learning how to help someone, a peer. And research shows that it's the peers, they notice the sign, the first sign of distress, or giving them the skill to identify or notice mental distress. It's a goal in this training. Also, like in this grant, I'm trying to train the faculty, staff, and student leaders with suicide prevention information and skill, so that they are able to, when they interact with distressed students, they are able to help them. We are also going to the community surrounding high schools and churches.
Great.
And we are going to spread the information, having people the information and knowledge about what mental health is and mental illness, the causes, and all this information. So we want people to the stigma to go away.
So, Dr. J, I understand that many people may go through periods of depression, where they're just not feeling themselves.
Right, yeah.
How do we distinguish between really a bad day or a bad week versus something that's more serious that needs the attention of a professional?
If the bad days go for long, like a couple of days, and it disrupts your work and your normal day of life, then you should think about seeking help. So it happens to us all, like we feel bad some days and good some days, but if this becomes routine, then definitely, yeah.
Now, Dr. J, now you've been here at UNT Dallas since 2010, correct?
Yes,
Okay.
yeah. I have
So how much has the university grown just as an overall, from an overall standpoint, since you've kind of been here since the beginning?
Yeah, it's amazing, the growth. We are growing in terms of just structure, like buildings. We have more buildings, and we have also growth in student enrollment. And we are doing a lot in the community. So I think we have grown a lot, and we will. There is so much potential. We have great faculty members, staff members, and our students also are get very good education because we are small. Our class rooms are small. The class sizes are small, and every student gets individual attention at UNT Dallas. So it's I see lots of things happening and will happen. Yeah.
Now, are you moving to the new building or no?
No, not yet. You should come and see the new building.
Yes.
It's gorgeous.
Yes.
Yeah.
How can students get involved in this initiative? I understand that you've trained now over 150 students in this program.
About 200
About
already.
200
yeah.
already.
And
So how do students get involved?
yeah, actually I trained 200, and my goal is 1,000 this year. So 800 more to go. The students can take the training, and it's not just training. They can get involved in different initiatives, outreach initiatives that I'm doing in the communities. So
this program isn't just an on-campus program.
No, it is beyond campus and beyond. And
So tell us a little bit more about how you're reaching out in the community.
We are actually contacting the high schools, the principals, for example, like Sunset High School. So we are going to different high schools and churches and helping the high school students to start a club, initiate a club that is Active Minds. This is actually national club, a student club. We have a chapter. We started a chapter due to this grant. So this club will help the high schoolers to initiate similar clubs, chapters of this club, and have a conversation of mental illness. And they will do many fun activities with the high schoolers, so like movie screening and other games and things like that to increase awareness. It is important because suicide is the leading cause of death among high school students.
Wow.
Yeah, and second leading cause of death among college students. So involving our students in promoting awareness, going to the community, that is very critical.
Absolutely.
Now, why do you think suicide rates are most common amongst high school students and college students?
High school, this is the time that there are lots of changes, hormonal changes and physical changes, and and also stressful. At that age, you take some responsibility, and so it's a lot to deal with. And especially college is definitely stressful, and especially students who are first generation or who are minority, dealing with college academic life, and also at the same time there are financial issues and other issues that are happening in their life. It is stressful at that age, at that time.
Okay, so just talk to me. I mean, just having a brief conversation with you now and talking to you previously and getting the show set up. You're very passionate about mental health awareness. Why is that?
I cannot actually ignore, because I interact with this vulnerable, at-risk population. So every day I deal with the students who actually is struggling. Somehow they send me notes, they come to my office, they talk with me. So I feel like I cannot teach well if my students are not feeling well. So it's very critical to address this issue. So it's very satisfying that ever since I have started the project, I get a lot of thank you notes. Students thank me for getting the training and being able now to approach someone or make a difference in someone's life by just talking, by just giving information. So it's a satisfying thing, I would say.
So I know that this initiative goes beyond just the students. How are faculty and staff getting involved in this process? Because recognizing depression or seeing somebody that's just not right, that occurs all throughout a student's day. So it may go beyond, what other students just see. They may approach other faculty. How are you getting other faculty and staff involved in this process?
Yeah. Faculty and staff always deal with that. They I myself, when a student come to me, my office, and talk about depression, sometimes I even get overwhelmed. I do not know what to do. So faculty and staff, they need that training about how to know that someone needs help. Like the question you asked, like depression. Some days we feel bad, some days we not. But when to know, when to seek help. So. Trying to engage faculty and staff members in a training that is called QPR, Question, Persuade, and Refer. It's a suicide prevention training that is nationally recognized. So they are taking this training so they can better understand a student when they interact with the student.
What kind of resources are there in the Dallas community for referrals? So if you do find somebody who you think is depressed, and maybe they've even come and sat down and spoken with you, and they're getting beyond the way, of being able to handle it themselves, and you think they need help, how do you refer? Who do you refer to? What are the resources available?
For our students, we have our wellness and counseling center. So I refer them, I would recommend anyone to refer them to the counseling center, and they have excellent staff members there who can help. And also there are many help in the community that information we are making that available to students so that they can go for help. And also there are hotlines, suicide prevention hotlines, and they can talk, they can access that. So there are resources. We just need to publicize that. We just need to make students aware of those resources.
Okay, man, this is my last question from me. For those who want to possibly major in sociology, psychology, health services, that kind, or human development, why is UNT Dallas the right university for them if they want to focus in that particular area?
Well, as I said at the beginning, that we are small and small classroom, and our faculty members are excellent. Most of them will teach with very high passion, and we make it a priority community engagement and experiential learning, service learning. So our students get lots of opportunity to learn practical skills, and which would make them more marketable. And also we have great faculty, as I said, like, so students are get well equipped. And also, like, another thing, you all know that affordability, our tuition is low, so it's the best place for students.
Awesome. Greg, you got anything before we let
I just
Dr. J go?
No, I just want to be very thankful to Dr. J and everyone that's behind this program, because we're approaching a behavioral health crisis in this community in Dallas-Fort Worth. We have very limited resources. We have very few places for inpatient care in this community. This has been a major topic of the state legislature, looking to allocate additional beds in our community for mental health, behavioral health issues. It's a major challenge for all of the hospitals in the area, because people are coming into emergency rooms with mental and behavioral health issues, and quite frankly, there's no place to send them out to. So many times, very often, they're being held in emergency rooms and waiting for a bed, waiting for other resources to free up. So I just want to congratulate you, Dr. J, for taking the initiative here at UNT Dallas to tackle this issue for our students and for this broader community, because it's definitely a needed program.
Thank you for inviting me. It was great to be here and talk about this. Thank you all.
Yeah, no problem. And how can students contact you if they kind of want some more information on how they can get involved with Cognito and other mental health awareness initiatives?
They can go to UNT Dallas website, and I am Soyoda Jasmine, and they can search my name and also my email address, soyoda.jasmine@untdallas.edu. And my project name is Strong. It's called
Your project name is what?
Strong.
Appropriately named.
Yeah, Strong. It's students and teachers reaching out and never giving up. Its abbreviation is Strong.
Love that.
The name was given by a student, so they can reach out to Strong. They can contact Strong to reach out to me. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, Dr. J, thank you once again.
Thank you so much
for joining me and Greg here on this lovely Good Friday morning and everything like that. So happy Easter to you, and enjoy your break.
Happy Easter.
Thank you.
Thank you. Well, coming up, Greg will give me tips on what to expect as a new and brand new father. You're listening to the Urban Advantage Podcast, the official voice of Southern Dallas and the University of North Texas at Dallas. Stay tuned, y'all.
Attention UNT Dallas students. Does your resume need tweaking? Or are you in search of an internship? Better yet, are you looking to start a business? Well, our Career Services Department is where you need to be. Under the direction of Arthur Lumsey Jr. and Whitney Crawford, this department provides career tips and guidance to get your professional journey on the right path. For more information, stop by room 246 in Founders Hall or send an email to careerservices@untdallas.edu. And remember, everyone, blaze your trail. Welcome back to the Urban Advantage Podcast, the official voice of the University of North Texas at Dallas. Here are your hosts, Benjamin Bullock and Greg Campbell. Take it away, guys.
Welcome back, everyone, for our last segment. Remember, you can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Urban ADV Podcast. Again, that's Urban ADV Podcast, and join the conversation. Greg, like we talked about earlier, as you know, I recently just became a dad.
Daddy.
April 4th, 2019 at 7:44. That's when Isabella Jonelle Bullock made her entry to the world. So, you know, you being one of my closest friends and confidants and mentors, what should I expect as a father in this day and age? What should happen? What should I expect?
You know, it's been a long time since I was in your position. You
Yes.
know, going back, 27 years since my daughter was brought into this world. And I can tell you, I have at least 5 tips I want to share with you.
I'm going to jot them down.
Get ready. Get your pencil out here. First thing is be prepared to jump up. Now, what do I mean by that? Is to volunteer whatever the situation, whether it's good, whether it's time to, just hold the baby.
Yeah.
be ready to volunteer or to do the hard stuff, the morning feedings, the midnight feedings, the changing of diapers. You're going to discover something called nuclear waste.
Nuclear waste.
Now, you're not going to believe this, but something will come out of your daughter that you will look and go, that came out of you? Be prepared to be the one who's jumping up to change that diaper, to do that feeding, to make sure she's okay. If she's crying, to be able to pick her up. Be that person to be the first out of the box because, quite frankly, your wife is tired.
Yes, she is.
She carried this baby 9 months, is probably doing a lot of the load in terms of feeding and everything. So, you got to give her a break. So be the first to jump up and volunteer.
Okay.
The second tip I'm going to give you is about equal love. I mentioned that earlier. We have this tendency, maybe as guys, that, as we now see we have a new child and the daughter in our lives. So we're gravitating to loving on our daughter, but our wives, our spouses need that love also.
Okay.
So try to balance that love and recreate that equal love so that if you're loving on your daughter, you're also loving on your wife.
Okay.
Third, very, very important term. If you didn't know it before, you'll know it now. It's a very important term. Just make this the first thing you think about. Write it down. 2 words. Yes, dear.
That's simple, right?
It's really that simple because she's going to ask you things that, you'll say, oh, of course, I'll do that.
Yeah.
Or you'll go, why does she want me to do that? Why is she asking? She just said something completely best answer in the world.
Okay, cool. I got you. Or yes, dear.
Yes, dear. And just move. Yes, dear, and just start moving.
Yeah.
Okay? The fourth tip I'm going to give you is remember to establish presence with your wife and daughter. And what's that about? Sometimes it's just being there, even while she's doing the activity with your new daughter, just being present in the room, being present, while she's maybe doing something with the bottles or the formula or whatever else that needs to happen.
Right.
Establishing presence, just being there and being available will also add to comfort and support that your wife needs at this particular stage.
Right.
And then finally, rediscover your marriage.
Okay.
And what that's about is, it has been and will be about your new daughter, but it's got to be about the two of you again. And that's what it was before the pregnancy.
Yeah.
It's got to be returned to that in a new way.
Right.
So there has to be time that you create, that both of you create for your marriage, for just the two of you, where it's just about the two of you.
Okay.
Now, I don't know if she's ready to give up, the baby to a babysitter or a mother or anybody else like that, or even your mama. But, right now, you still have to figure out, how do we get a little time just for us?
Yeah, we definitely, obviously the baby's only about 15, 16 days old. So obviously we're still fresh on that aspect. But yeah, we're definitely going to work on that. So I guess my question for you now, Greg, is, with you being a very successful career businessman and, done a lot of great things from a career standpoint, how were you able to balance a newborn and still being able to progress as one of the top businessmen in the city?
Well, I don't know about being one of the top businessmen in the city,
you are.
But I'll just say this. One of the things you learn to do is you don't sleep.
That's cool.
You just don't sleep because you're going to find that you got to put in the hours at home and put in the hours on the job. So, it's interesting that you brought this up. I was just talking to a dad who's into the process for about a year.
Right.
And he has his own practice that he's involved in. So he's been concentrating, taking time off, trying to be home, trying to be a good dad. And now he's struggling to reestablish his business practice.
Wow.
So we were sitting down talking about, all right, how do you allocate your time? And he is so drawn to wanting to spend time with his child that he is now trying to figure out, now how do I get my passion back into my business? And I reminded him that passion for your business is what fuels the economy for your home.
Right.
So you got to have that.
Got to eat.
Got to eat. But even more important than that, that's how he specifically is going to grow. So you don't want to stunt your own personal growth and then in translation also stunt the growth of your family.
Right.
So how you do it, you don't sleep. You allocate time. You be strict with your time. When you're going to work, you work.
Right.
And you get full attention into your work.
Right.
Whereas before you may have been able to work and, hang out. No, when you're ready to work, you go work.
Right.
So that when it's time to spend time and commitment at home, you have that time to do that also.
So what about networking? Because, as entrepreneur, you got to get out there and meet folks.
You got to do that, and you got to come to some agreement also with your spouse.
Yeah.
Be able to say, hey, don't expect I'll be able to do this 7 days a week.
Yeah.
I need 2 days a week to be able to do some networking.
Right.
And then make sure that when you take your time in the household, that you also provide her time off so that she can go spend time networking, doing what she needs to do professionally, or just hanging out with her friends.
Okay. Well, Greg, it's definitely been a really good challenge for me so far. I just, like we were talking before we even got on the air, I said, I just kind of accepted the fact that, me getting a really good night's rest of about 7 to 8 hours, that's completely out the window for the next few years or so, at least in the next few months or so.
Rule number one, Ben, when the baby sleeps, you sleep.
But I got to grind and hustle, though.
You can grind and hustle.
That's true, but I
But
got to
when
get
the
some
baby
rest.
sleep,
I got to get some.
you
okay.
sleep.
I got to do that.
And you're going to learn how to do your work in the middle of the night and all that.
Right. So that's been a really fulfilling moment in terms of me just holding my child and everything. That was pretty cool. And my mom and dad and my wife's mother, they came down for the birth and everything. So that was pretty good. So all is well with little Isabella and everything, and she's doing well. As long as you keep her fed, changed, she's usually pretty good to go.
So tell us what the origin of the name Isabella is.
Man, we actually just liked the name. Wouldn't really know meaning or anything behind it. We just liked it. It kind of flowed nice. And Jonelle is actually my wife's grandmother's name. So that was pretty cool. And obviously my last name is my last name. So there wasn't too much thought into, some people was like, oh, this name means da-da-da-da-da. No, we just like the way it sounded.
The name.
Just like the way it sounded. And that's how it was. Yeah, that's how
What's going to be her nickname?
Well, we got a whole bunch. We got Bells. We got Bella. I call her Moo right now. So, Moo. I don't know what that
you don't want that out of the house, man. You don't want your child family calling her Moo.
Moo, yeah.
Oh, man.
That's a few we got right now. And my wife be talking to her in whole different languages too. She be talking baby talk to her. So she got a ton of nicknames too. So, but yeah, all is well, man. And it's Easter weekend right now, so we can't bring her out the house, but Anya's going to put her in a nice little outfit and everything, take a photo and post on social. So what you got planned this Easter, man?
I'm going to be laying low this Easter weekend. Going to make a little trip down to Houston.
Mm-hmm. Go see the lady.
Going to see the lady.
She going to cook something up for Easter dinner?
Oh, I'm hoping so. Either that or we'll cook up.
Yeah, I got you. Cool. Yeah, I ain't going to do too much, man. Just be at the house, do some work, and watch a couple of services online and everything. So we'll see. We'll see what happens.
NBA playoffs.
Playoffs are going good. Golden State won last night and kind of, bounced back from that debacle. They gave up a 30-point lead and they actually beat the Clippers.
31-point lead.
Yeah, 31-point lead. And they beat the Clippers by, 34-35 last night. So the Spurs, they're actually up 2-1 over the Nuggets.
It's over.
It's over?
It's over. I may announce it now. It's over. Pop was, not even worried coming into that. He looked at the other team on the other side. He said, they're a good team, but we got them.
Yeah, we got them. And then, Philly beat Brooklyn without Joel Embiid last night, so that was pretty cool. And,
Boy, Simmons just played his off last night.
11 for 13 last night. Still can't hit no jumper, but, hey, when you're 11 for 13, putting up 31 and double-digit rebounds, that's a pretty good stat line.
Did you see some of his assists, though, last night?
That's one to me. That's still his best attribute as a basketball player. His ability to see the floor, his vision, to just be able to find his teammates at the right particular times and make the right decisions and everything. So
is he a guard or is he a forward?
Point guard. He's a guard, point forward. Well, point guard.
Point guard or point forward?
No, point guard. Because they honestly don't even have any point guards on the roster. Because when he goes out the game, Jimmy Butler's the backup point guard. As you want to call that. So, honestly, man, my favorite series right now is Oklahoma City and Portland. That's between Russell Westbrook and Damian Lillard. They have a nice little back and forth going. So it's been intense the first two games, and obviously Portland went up 2-0, so they're back in OKC now, and let's see if what they can do. Paul George is battling a shoulder injury, I think, but it's still been a really good series.
Now, this is the time of year where you may have some aches and pains, but you just got to bring it.
You just got to bring it, man. And then since we're sticking on the NBA, our boy Dirk closed out his career with the Mavs a couple of weeks ago. So,
and I had the privilege of being there for the last
man,
home game.
I watched it on TV. I was gonna hit you up like, Greg, you using that other ticket, man? I want to be there for that.
It was a wonderful, wonderful evening. Big shout out to Dirk. What a career! What a guy! And from all aspects, you get players, where you see their stats and everybody's really happy with their stats and what kind of career. But it says a lot when people speak so highly about you.
Absolutely.
And how highly they speak of Dirk and what a good guy he is, what he does in the community, how he interacts with both players and coaches, what he's done for this franchise in the 21 years that he has been here. I get a sense that he would strap it back on again for another season next year.
No, he was struggling out there.
He was struggling. I mean, he had some work done on that foot.
Yeah,
and
he's just brittle out there. He just couldn't run.
And, his vertical jump has now gotten to about 6 inches. So, it's done.
And he still could dunk, which is crazy.
Yeah, he had that one dunk during the course of the game where everybody's looking going, is he all right?
Yeah. They had to make sure his knees was good when he came down. Right. Right. Yeah, it was good, man. They had, so at the end, I really liked the tribute they had Barkley, Scottie Pippen, Sean Kemp out of all people.
Yeah.
Deadlift Shrimp, and Larry Bird. So that was a really good 5 people they had out there to kind of give Dirk his send-off, and obviously Mark Cuban did something good for him. And, it was just a really good experience. I think Bella might have been maybe 2 or 3 days old, or I forgot when that date was. But, yeah, I stayed at the house and watched it, so it was pretty cool.
That's why you didn't get a call, because I knew you would want to be there.
Man, you already know I wanted to be there
you
for
would
that.
want to be there, but, I'm trying to preserve your marriage.
Yeah.
Because if you had run out of the house, you might have been locked out when you got home.
Yeah, you know what? I think it was a Tuesday. Yeah. Because it was right, because I had to go to that conference, that diversity conference the following day. So, but yeah, it was good. So, lastly, Greg, before we let these people go, the NFL draft is coming up next week. So, what do you think our Cowboys are going to do?
Well, I don't know what the Cowboys are going to go after, but we need help almost across the board.
Okay.
I hope we end up with another receiver.
Okay.
We're going to need another receiver with us losing one of our primary possession receivers during free agency. So I'm looking for some receivers. I'm also looking for some additional help on the defensive line and on the offensive line.
Nice.
I think we got some key pieces: quarterback, tight ends, running backs. I think we can take a look at defensive backfield again.
Yeah.
But I'm really concerned that we go out and get some additional help.
Okay, I just want to see him hit safety, athletic tight end, and running back, and I'm going out on a limb on this one, and a kicker.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say kicker on that one.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say kicker. Like, they can find a guy who might be out there, probably the best kicker coming out the draft this year, is Cole Tracy out of LSU. So that might be a 6th round pick, 5th round pick. If he's there, I say pull the trigger, because I don't trust Brent Maher.
Well, that's 2 of us.
So we'll just see what happens with that. So, Greg, you got anything else to add before we let these people get out of here?
I'm just going to ask you for your prediction. Who's going to be in the finals for the NBA playoffs this year?
Man, I'm going to say Golden State and Toronto.
I'm going to go a little different way on you.
What you got?
I'm going to go out and say something really bold, and I'm going to say Houston Rockets.
I wouldn't be surprised with that.
And they're going to be playing Milwaukee.
I like that.
That
I like
would be
that, because
one
I was
heck of
going
a series.
I was going to say Milwaukee instead of Toronto, but I wouldn't mind seeing Giannis, who's doing a really good job.
Giannis is amazing. There was an article the other day saying that, pound for pound, he may be the best player in the league right now.
And he's playing with a good, calm demeanor right now, and it's like,
and attitude.
That's what I mean.
I mean, he's taking on all comers. He is shooting from the outside. He's going on the inside. He's
dunking on
rebounding.
folks.
He is passing the ball.
Yeah.
He's got his team all in it.
So yeah, I actually kind of like that. Ooh,
Houston Bucks.
That kind of
you
gives
heard
me
it
some
here
tingles.
first.
I like that. Well, we're gonna mark that off and put it out there. If that does happen, we're gonna say Greg put it out there to make sure to let y'all know that Houston and the Bucks are gonna be in the finals. Okay. So Greg, with that said, man, that'll do it for this week's show. For Benjamin Bullock and Greg Campbell, thank you for listening to the Urban Advantage Podcast, the official voice of Southern Dallas and the University of North Texas at Dallas. And remember, everyone, blaze your trail.
Thank you for listening to the Urban Advantage Podcast, the official voice of the University of North Texas at Dallas. To learn more about the university, head to untdallas.edu. And remember, blaze your trail.